Capricorn, it appears that you've had some divine guidance throughout your entire life protecting you. So in your early childhood years, the karmic lesson, the opportunity had to do with how you were gaining your wisdom here. Knowledge is what popped out for those early childhood years. For your teen, young adult years, guides popped out as a theme, and we'll explore that in just a moment. And for where you are right now, as you're learning lessons and breaking cycles, boundaries is what's coming up right now. And then beneath the deck is magic. And what's interesting about magic being out here is that for your young adult years, I was meditating on the energy, and magic and meditation popped out. The way that they popped out, I wasn't exactly feeling the certainty of that, so I put them back in my deck, kept shuffling through and getting through the rest of the cards, and it's here on the bottom of the deck. So it's about some ability to alchemize your knowledge and your wisdom into something that is tangible for you in your life. So we're going to kick into it, but I want to do some housekeeping first. Capricorn, this is about generational cycles, because for some people, Capricorn, some people want to know, what am I brought on this earth to do? Can I get some insight about the why behind this whole planet thing, being on the earth? That's kind of interesting, right? So this reading came to me to do for different signs, and as I'm doing these readings, different things are coming up as to why. It's not going to resonate with every single Capricorn out there. It's not intended to. These messages are very specific for who it needs to go to, and I'm learning that as I'm doing the series of readings. So my hope is that, Capricorn, as I'm going through these different stages of life that you likely were working through, or others of you in the space who are watching this, you were working through, the intention is for you to see the opportunity now that you may have to break any cycle off your life, or maybe you see a trend in your own life where you went in a different direction, and because you went in a different direction than someone else in your ancestry and your history, cycles are being broken off of your life. So Capricorn, that is the vibe of this reading. So early childhood, I'm thinking 0 to 5, 0 to 8, you have knowledge out here. But when I see this card with this book, I also always see the word wisdom kind of scribed over this book here. Wisdom is what comes up for me very strongly, Capricorn. So in this early time of your life, you probably had some type of parent, aunt, uncle, caregiver, a teacher of some kind who shared a lot of information with you, and maybe in ways that was different than traditional information that should have been coming to you. And this kind of feels similar to my Sagittarius reading, so I could be talking to a Sag Capricorn cusper. Check that out if you find that there's an interesting theme here, because for the Sagittarius reading, it was a theme early on too, with having wisdom and knowledge about past life stuff. And so that may not exactly have been you, Capricorn. It could have just been that whoever was in your life made sure that very early on they taught you maybe about money, about home, about family, maybe about spirituality. But whoever this person was, they were really intentional about giving you information that was going to help you navigate this earth plane and be on this planet. That's what that feels like for me. Now I'm going to get some cards out here for you, Capricorn, related to knowledge in that early childhood time, to let this evolve a little bit more and expand. Guide angel, spirit guides for Capricorn. Why is knowledge out here? Why is wisdom out here for Capricorn in their early years? What is this related to? Thank you, guide angel, spirit guides. For Capricorn, please. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. For Capricorn, why is knowledge here? Okay. Yeah, it was related to building a foundation. Somebody probably could have been teaching you about finances. Someone probably could have been teaching you about how to invest your money, how to grow food. I just heard like a garden, how to garden, because the Knight of Pentacles is out here. Whoever this was, they wanted you to be well off in your life, Capricorn. It was really important. So they were sharing things with you at 11 years old, 9 years old, about how to take care of your money, and how maybe about buying property, Maybe they were teaching you about how to care for property in the family, because maybe there's some type of legacy that was being kept in the family. A card that just popped out is the moon, and it popped out in reverse. And so at the time, that feels like a trailer for me. You likely didn't understand what that meant. But now, as you're in your life now, you kind of understand what it all means now. God, angel, spirit guides, tell us a little bit more about why wisdom, knowledge, and the Knight of Pentacles is here. It's Taurus energy, but it's also Earth energy, Capricorn, which you are. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Why is the Knight of Pentacles here? Tell us more about this early childhood teaching wisdom. Yeah. And as a child, you didn't know what this meant, because I just got another card that confirmed that you didn't understand all of these principles, right? It could have been a mother, a matriarch, a grandmother in the family who was teaching you these different things. That's some Cancer energy for you, water sign energy here. Then you also have the Magician that's upright. You have the Ten of Cups that's in reverse, and you have the Two of Swords that is in reverse next to this Knight of Pentacles. And so a couple of things to go a little bit deeper. Intuitively, what's coming up is that whoever was imparting this wisdom on you, right? And then we have the King of Cups beneath the Queen of Cups, grandma, grandfather, mother, parent, mother, father, caregivers, whoever was teaching you about this. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Okay, where do I go? Some of you were just learning because you were watching your parents have a hard time in the love department in family. You saw your parents get back together, fall apart, get back together, fall apart, or it kind of felt like the love was absent, but the security was there. Okay, that's what's coming up for some of you. And then others of you had caregivers where they were aware that they wanted you to have real love, real partnership, and they also wanted you to grow. They wanted you to fully mature into the person that you have come to be before you decided on love and partnership, because maybe these caregivers or this early example, whether they were sharing this with you or you watched them, they wanted you to do things differently, because the Magician's out here as well. They wanted you to have the power to choose who you loved. They wanted you to have the power, and I feel this is a very strong energy. They were really determined about this. They wanted you to have the power to know that you get to have whoever you want in your life, and you don't have to do things the way that maybe your parents or your grandparents had to do things to be together. Now, this is a loving energy though. So whoever these two people are that I feel like I'm channeling for you, Capricorn, that may have been grandparents, parents, the neighbors, there's a lot of love between these two people, but it kind of feels like they had some understanding. They had to maybe go the long way to get to this loving, divine partnership, and they wanted you as a young person to understand that it's important to know that life is a journey. It takes time. You do not have to rush. That feels like the early teachings that were coming through, because they did not want you to have, the family, the business, and all those things just because you're in the earth. They wanted your life to be meaningful and intentional. They wanted you to know that you had power, okay? So that's what's coming up in the early childhood years. Now I'm going to go into the teen years, the young adult years, and we have guides out here. When I first meditated on the energy before I came on camera with you, when that guides card came out, I felt instantly that whoever these wonderful people were, or that mentor was, or that example of how to do life, whoever that was, they are across the rainbow bridge right now. They're in spirit form, but they're still with you in this season of your life, in your teen years, in your young adult years. You may have gone through some things. I'm going to get some cards out here, but you may have gone through some things that made you feel like they were no longer with you, but you felt them, but they weren't on the earth plane anymore. And so here you are, Capricorn, keeping this knowledge, and you're still being spiritually guided to remember that you get to have your life. And it makes total sense, because right now you have the boundaries, right? We're going to get into that in just a moment. So God, angel, spirit guides for Capricorn in the young adult years, in the teen years. Tell us more about why guides is here. Why is guides here? The number 7, intuition, subconscious. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Self-trust. Why is guides here for Capricorn in this area of life? Let's see. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Yeah. There may have been some inner conflict about what to choose. Do I hold on to what I was taught early on? Because here is another option. They didn't tell me what to do here. So if I do it this way, could I still be successful? There's some inner conflict about who you are for sure. Some deceit here. Another 7 is interesting because I picked up the 7 here. I don't know if you can see that beneath this card, which is intuition, trusting intuition. And then we have a 7 of swords here. And it kind of feels like for what you were working through, it almost feels like imposter syndrome. Going into situations not feeling completely like you could trust yourself to be yourself in certain matters. So you probably felt like you had to disguise who you really were in some interesting ways. And this came up for another reading too. But in some ways you felt like you had to be cunning, or maybe you had to take shortcuts to get to where you were, because now at this point you're contending with life differently, and maybe you're challenging a little bit of what these earlier guides and mentors were telling you about love, but you're kind of working through some inner conflict about that and maybe wanting to do things your own way. I'm going to get some more cards out here to clarify this. God, angel, spirit guys, tell us why the 7 of swords is out here for Capricorn in this young adulthood time. Why is the 7 of swords here next to the 5 of wands in reverse? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. What's happening here with the 7 of swords? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Okay, give and take. It kind of feels like taking a shortcut in life. Yeah, and then beneath the deck, the 9 of pentacles, you have the 6 of pentacles here. This is give and take. There may have been an opportunity to earn a lot of money, get into a really wonderful career, and be financially independent, and maybe go a different route. Maybe an investment that was more kind of speculative. And you're like, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I'm going to try it. I know what I was taught. I know what they said to do with money or with property, but I think I want to do things my own way. And it feels like you went through a little bit of inner conflict about that, and you made that decision to act the way that you wanted to. You might have even started a family here with the Empress here around this time. So it kind of feels like you probably chose to, you know, be a partner to someone or choose a partner here. But in some way, there's some inner conflict about this that you're working through in these young adult years. But it feels like starting a family young. Yeah, I'm going to get some more out here about this Empress here. Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Tell me more about why the 6 of pentacles and the Empress is here. This is fascinating energy. Very fascinating. It just feels like you wanted to do your own thing anyway. You want to have your life the way that you wanted it. God, angel, spirit guides, why is the 6 of pentacles and the Empress here? The High Priestess here. These are some very interesting divine spiritual energies here. There's something about this that feels like you wanted to take some time to give back to your family in some way. This is a very specific message, Capricorn. For some of you, you inherited something. You inherited maybe some type of home, or you inherited some type of property or some type of asset. And I keep getting that for some of you, you decided to sell this property or do something different than the original plan was. That feels like that's strong, or that happened. that happened in this story, and that was a challenging, conflictual time with the family or with people around you, because there's some distrust. There's a trust issue here related to money. There's an issue of someone maybe in some way betraying their end of a bargain related to money here. It causing some stress, and it caused some mental disconnection here. So this is a turbulent time, and it has something to do with a mom or a mother, a motherly figure here. So there's an interesting energy, because I'm picking up one energy of someone who's decided to maybe get married, start a family, and do things their own way anyway. And that has an impact on the foundational teaching about how to do family, marriage, and all of that. And they wanted to go their own way. Then there's, again, this other vibe of some type of issue that has happened where someone is betraying someone related to property, money, taking more than they need, lying about, money, and it causing some type of conflict early on. But it definitely has something to do with money for sure, and property. So that young adult the young adult years, the teen years, was a challenging time. A lot of distrust, a lot of deceit. People that maybe you were, Capricorn, you were taught to believe you're supposed to trust were not exactly honorable in some way, and that changed your understanding of people and the people in your family dynamic. That's what's coming up for sure. It feels like a scattered time. Like if you think back to this time, Capricorn, it feels like you might think of this time as just a really challenging time of upheaval and distrust. Maybe it awakened you, like this time of your life awakened you to real life. But guides were always there in this time. There was a spiritual element no matter what, protecting during this time of great deceit that was happening. God, angel, spirit guides for boundaries. So now we're coming into now. And when it comes to any kind of lesson that is to be learned right now, it's related to boundaries. Something about what happened in this young adult years, it might have turned out different than what you were taught about or what you were encouraged to do. And now in your life, you've learned a lot through really experiencing, and it kind of feels like you might be a little bit more grounded now, but also a little bit more guarded because of these experiences. God, angel, spirit guides, why is boundaries here for Capricorn? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Why is boundaries here for Capricorn? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. What else? Here we go. In terms of give and take, you're not giving too much anymore. So you have it out here for those early teen years in this deck that I used just a moment ago. And just now it popped out again. So when it comes to giving, you make sure that when you give of yourself, it's absolutely for the right reasons to the right person. Someone in your past took advantage of you. That's what that feels like. And you also have boundaries about getting in between the generations, getting in between the family members. It feels like right now the opportunity for you to break a cycle is to really be in the middle path and to trust the process and to let go. But it feels like you are in this boundaried kind of energy right now. Yeah, the devil here, it's in reverse. The Knight of Swords here is in reverse. So let's just focus on this for a moment. So the devil is, you're boundaried up right now because you came out of a time where there were people around you, possibly a co-parent, someone that you were married to, or someone that you thought you could trust deeply, that betrayed you. And Capricorn, this is you in the tarot, you know that. So you being upside down just kind of feels like right now, while you are healing, while you are overcoming, while you are coming to understand who you are, you're in this place of protecting yourself. You might be a little bit more rigid about who you decide to give support and help to because of that betrayal that happened. Now, what's interesting here is that both of these are 6 energies. This is the 6 of Pentacles. And then this translates into a 6 as well, Capricorn. And so what this feels like, yeah, and so what this feels like is that it's all about you finding the harmony and the balance with the temperance here as well, finding the harmony and the balance that is right for you. So an opportunity to break a cycle off of your life is to spend time with yourself the way that you need to, but it's going to be important for you to trust that you get to have balance and harmony. These are all balance, harmony cards here. And then we also have the Knight of Swords here, and it's in reverse. But for some of you, you're on a mission right now to, you are so strong about protecting yourself, protecting other people from having this horrific thing that happened to you in the middle of your adult years, your young adult years. You're on a mission to ensure that that does not happen to other people, but it has robbed you of some of your emotional wherewithal because you've been on a journey so strong. So that's really important here, is that for some of you, the way that you are operating in your power is that you are in movement. You're not letting anything like that happen ever again, but there is no emotion. There's no feeling there. It's just strict, staunch protection. And you have boundaries that are so strong until anyone can be cut or steamrolled through because, with the boundaries that are in place, because you are so dedicated to not allowing any kind of hurt or harm to come upon you again. All right, God, angel, spirit guides, I'm going to ask this question a little bit differently than I've asked the other signs here. God, angel, spirit guides, what is the advice to break a cycle, God, angel, spirit guides, for Capricorn? What is the advice? I'm asking this because I personally like boundaries, but it's not about me. And so I want to ask God, angel, spirit guides to make it clear for you, Capricorn, what is going to support you in terms of breaking cycles. Is this the right approach right now? And it might be. So for those of you who have any doubt, we're going to clarify. God, angel, spirit guides, what is the advice for breaking the cycle right now related to boundaries? What do they need to do? What could they do? God, angel, spirit guides. Yeah. So right now you're emotionally detached, for sure. So, you know, when I just showed you the Knight of Swords that was in reverse, so that's no emotion, almost dangerous with your mission to be in your boundaries. The first card that popped out is the Scorpio energy of 5 of Cups. This feels like the things that happened in your past, you're still holding on to it, but not the way that could be helpful. It's never really helpful to hold on to anything from the past. But the thing about it is there is emotion here. There's an opportunity to transmute this boundary energy right now. But what's really going to help you is if you address the loss, if you really sit and feel the loss and not avoid it, because it kind of feels like you're driving through life right now. You have been brokenhearted. There's grief here. There's deceit here. Someone hurt you in the past here, but it has not been fully addressed, and so you're emotionally detached right now. With this being here, this 5 of Swords, this is a hard battle, and so I'm asking for advice here, and it kind of feels like putting the swords down. The Chariot here, staying on your journey, you know, going forward, clearing out the clutter, but it feels like it's clearing out the clutter so that you can do this popped out again, the Temperance, so that you can trust spirit and allow there to be room for you to really feel this, heal this, and work through this. This is really important here. And then we also have the 10 of Pentacles here, right? So in terms of advice, I think spirit wants you to know that you're going to be okay, that resources are going to are protected, your family business is protected, your legacy is protected, there's opportunity for you to have all that you want, but the Emperor is upside down, and so this is systems, this is control, this is power, and so it kind of feels like to let go a little bit, and this is also kind of like a boundary card too, right? It's the father figure here. If you have a strong influence in your life, like a supervisor, a business partner, another kind of like father or parent figure that's really, really strong in your life that has an influence on you, it might be time to look into how that connection with this person is showing up in your life, and if that's also having an impact on the hard boundaries that you have. You might be protecting yourself from someone that maybe is coming off a little bit harsh in this period of your life and is making it hard for you just to relax. But Spirit wants you to know that you have to address this grief, because just moving on, carrying on without addressing that grief and without healing it is not going to be exactly as beneficial as you think. You're slapping a boundary on something that hasn't been healed does not secure your heart, and it doesn't give opportunity for increased abundance to fly in over time and throughout time. So Spirit wants you to address this so that you can truly move forward and move on. The hurt is still here, even though you're going through it. The hurt is still with you. So Capricorn, it's time to address that and allow Spirit to work with you to heal that. There's a return, again, a return of the family goodness, you know, the legacy, the prosperity, the money, the resources, the home, all of the things that we usually want, and Capricorn, you likely want. That happens, but you got to address this pain and then let it go respectfully and thoroughly. Now, Capricorn, I'm going to get some final archangel messages out here, and then after that we'll close. But I want to end with some Archangel Michael messages, because they're little prayers that pop out, and I think that is so wonderful. And it could be a wonderful way to send you on your way and have you in a place of remembering that you are in control as you're breaking cycles in your life, in any way that you're breaking them. God, angel, spirit guides, for Capricorn, what do you want Capricorn to know as we end this reading? Thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. Whew. Okay. Anything else? We have 2 out here so far. Yeah. All right, I'm hearing that's good enough for now. So the recent one that just popped out, this final one, it says, let go of fear. That's a beautiful image there too. It says, Archangel Michael, please help me feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. That's very powerful. You're in self-protection mode right now. You're in self-protection mode. As a matter of fact, this Emperor energy, when the Emperor's upside down, it's a scary energy. It scares people. You know, it can be kind of maniacal. It could be really hard-driven, you know, to see things only their way. Very rigid, very scary. And it kind of feels like, Capricorn, the cycle that you can break right now is addressing this hurt so that you can get back into the place of being the healthy Emperor that you are in your energy, Capricorn. Okay. Believe and trust is another one that popped out here, and it says, before going to sleep tonight, say, Archangel Michael, please enter my dreams and replace fear with faith and trust. Let me be filled with strength, courage, and confidence. Spirit wants you to let go of this fear. This is fear that's keeping these boundaries here. That's at first I thought the Emperor was likely someone showing up in your life like this, and it could be, but Capricorn, it kind of feels like that might be you, and that's how you've been addressing the past hurt, is that you're just like, this is my way, the highway, and whoever can't get with that, it's on you, right? But I think it's having an aversive effect on you, and we don't want that, Capricorn. Innocence here, and what it says, dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see that all of your qualities of pure love and light are reflected within me and all others. Help me embrace my God-given innocence so that I may be at peace. The things that happen to you, Capricorn, should have never happened to you. You're not deserving of any hurt or harm. And unfortunately, these things happen to shape us and to build character within us. So whatever you're facing right now, I hope that you will hear my words, that they happen just to build character in you, not for you to become a different person or to be in distrust or to be fearful of anything, just so that you can have more understanding about people and the nature of people. But you're safe now, and you're safe enough to have the beautiful life that you want and you desire. It's okay to regain control of your heart, right? It's no need to stay in bondage from the deceit of others in the past. You are free, you are wise, and you're capable of making strong, sound judgments at this time in your life, Capricorn. That's what I have for you. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.